So you're a non-black man and you want to date and potentially even marry a black woman, but you're concerned that she's going to be too liberal and you're going to be too conservative. But I can tell you, as a black woman who identifies as a very liberal-minded woman, that the average black woman is actually very conservative, and many black women are in tune with traditional gender roles and societal conventions. So if you're worried that you're going to struggle as a conservative man to find a black woman that you would be politically, ideologically compatible with, then you don't even need to worry about it. And you also don't need to worry about whether or not you are going to mess up, whether or not you are going to say something ignorant, whether or not you are going to disrespect her culture, her race, and you don't need to worry about whether or not you are going to come off as racist. And there's a caveat to that, but we'll get to it. So here's the thing. You might do all of those things. You might say something racist. You might show your ignorance. You might show your cultural insensitivities. But what are you going to do after that? Are you going to dig your heels in and stand by your offensive, insensitive comments, opinions, actions? Or are you going to listen to her? Are you going to allow her to share her perspective with you so that you can better support, celebrate, and care for her? If you're worried that you might offend her or show your ignorance, then you need to move past that, because the reality of the matter is that we all have our blind spots. If you are genuine, kind, and demonstrate authenticity and demonstrate a desire and eagerness and enthusiasm to truly get to know her, she will likely be forgiving. If you are gracious, then we will be gracious. And speaking of being gracious, I really want to emphasize how gracious many black women truly are, which is contrary to so many of the media depictions that you may see on and about black women. Believe it or not, most black women aren't aggressive, aren't rude, aren't mean, aren't callous. Many black women are sweet, are caring, and are kind. Many of us were raised by traditional women who took care of their families, who took care of themselves. I'm talking about the women who every single day got up and put themselves together, got their hair did, wore nice clothes and dressed nicely and dressed in a way that accentuated their body and that emphasized their body in a beautiful feminine way. I'm talking about women who took care of not just their families, not just themselves, but those outside of their immediate family. And I also want to add that those women, many of those women have gone underappreciated, have pretty much fallen into oblivion, and many of those women were not compensated for their contributions. And I personally am so thankful for those women who paved the way for me to be able to have the autonomy that I do today. But I say all of that as a reminder that what you see isn't always what it is. The loudest people may gather the most attention, but that doesn't mean that they are the majority of a population, and it doesn't mean that they are the representatives of a population either. And lastly, this is the most important point to me. Like this, if nothing else, if you take nothing else from this video, this is what I want you to hear. I have in the comment section, in my emails, I have so many non-black men emailing me, telling me that they are interested in black women. They find black women beautiful. They want to be with a black woman, but they don't know where black women are. They don't want to do dating sites. They don't want to do dating apps. They don't want to do the online dating thing. They want to meet black women in real life. They want to meet black women, but they don't know where they are. They don't know where to go to get to these black women. Now, I have made a few videos on this subject, but I couldn't give you then in those videos, and right now I can't give you an answer. But what I can give you are a set of questions. And I want you to really think about these questions. I want you to be really transparent with yourself when I pose these questions. And the first question is, and this question may be the most important question. This is a major, major question that I want you to ask yourself. Is it that there are just no eligible, viable black bachelorettes in your immediate circle, in your immediate proximity? Or is it possible that you just don't see them? Besides inaccurate, over-exaggerated, and just negative stereotypical depictions of black women, most of history has served to erase black women. You know, I'll never forget when I was around like 15, 16 years old, I was at my grandparents' house and I was watching a show on Nickelodeon. It was a new show. It was some sort of like dance show. And this is the early 2000s. And even for the early 2000s, I thought at the time that the cast was pretty diverse. And I will never forget, I did not understand at the time, but I am so clear. There's so much clarity for me now what she meant. I'll never forget my grandma looking at the screen and saying to me, pointing out to me that there wasn't on this diverse cast, there wasn't a single black young woman on the cast. And I thought nothing of it then. But now that I look back, even back then, my grandmother was trying to warn me and also show me about the erasure of black women and the erasure of black women in the media, unless it's a particular image of black women that is being represented, that's being depicted, that's being pushed out to us. Now, the reason that I continue to bring up the media is because no matter how much of it you consume, it has an impact on you. It doesn't matter if you're someone who stays on their phone or their laptop all day long, or if you're someone who just checks those things once or twice a day. Those messages, those narratives are going to sink into you on a conscious or subconscious level. And so again, I want you to ask yourself, are these women really not there, or do you not see them? And when you see them, what do you do? You know, I have so many white men in my comments and in my emails who are just saying that if a black woman just smiled at them, then that's all she has to do. She just has to smile. She just has to make that eye contact. But are you smiling at her when you see her? What do you do that demonstrates to her that she can safely and reliably show her interest in you without making a fool of herself, without embarrassing herself? And let me tell you something, for black women, the stakes of embarrassment, the stakes of humiliation, the stakes are high. They may not actually be high, but they are perceived as incredibly, incredibly high. So whenever you ask, where are the black women? Where can I go to meet them? I want you to ruminate. I want you to ponder. I want you to mull over. I want you to think about where you already are. Not where you could go, not where you should go, but where you are right now. And I want you to consider whether or not that place where you are right now is a space that would be comfortable for a black woman to enter into. And if not, and you actually truly, genuinely want her to be there, then you need to act and move accordingly. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching tonight's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.